Asalam Alaykum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. You know that feeling? The one that whispers in the quiet moments, telling you you're not just here by accident. Like your soul is nudging you, saying, this isn't random, you're exactly where you need to be. That's not coincidence. That's divine timing. And today, this message is not for everyone. It's for the chosen ones. The ones who feel like their story is deeper than the surface, heavier than the smiles they show, and brighter than the shadows they've walked through. You didn't click on this video by chance. Your heart did. Your spirit pulled you in. Heaven has been sending you signs, subtle, sometimes disguised as hardship or confusion, but all pointing to one truth. Allah has a direct message for you. Something the angels are waiting for you to hear. Something your soul has been thirsting for in the middle of restless nights and unanswered questions. Maybe you've felt tired of trying to explain yourself, like you're speaking a language nobody around you understands. Or maybe you've been doubting your path because the world's noise is louder than your quiet conviction. But here's a secret. The louder the world shouts for you to conform, the more heaven whispers for you to stand out. You were chosen, not because you're perfect, but because your imperfections are the canvas for a divine masterpiece. If you've ever felt like your prayers go unanswered, your efforts invisible, or your dreams too big for the world you see them in, that's exactly why you're chosen. Because Allah picks those who will carry burdens others run from. He chooses the ones who look like they're struggling but are really being prepared. Like a diamond hidden deep underground, buried in darkness before the light ever touches it. And yes, that process is lonely. Sometimes it feels like everyone else is moving forward while you're stuck in the waiting room. But trust this, the waiting room is where legends are made. The silence before the storm is where your purpose sharpens. The moments when you want to give up are the ones Allah is using to build your resilience. This isn't a motivational speech, it's a divine dispatch. A message that can shake the foundations of your doubt and remind you that you are not forgotten. You are not behind schedule. Your story is not over. Think about this. What if every challenge, every heartbreak, every setback you've endured was actually a direct message from Allah? A sign that you're on the path He specifically designed for you? The kind of path that requires patience, faith, and strength that only a chosen one can carry? You are not here to blend in. You are here to shake up the world around you, quietly, powerfully, and with purpose. You are the answer to prayers you don't even know people are making. You are the hidden blessing in someone's darkest hour. So if you're still watching, it's because your soul recognized its call. Your heart remembers what your mind forgets. The question now is, will you answer that call? Will you stand up and walk forward even when the way seems unclear? Stay with me. The message you're about to hear will change how you see yourself. Forever. You may have felt like you're walking through life alone, like your story is hidden behind a curtain nobody else can pull back. But that's exactly what it means to be chosen. Allah's chosen ones often walk a path that the world cannot see, a path paved with trials that only He understands. You weren't put here to live an ordinary life. No, you were selected, not randomly, but deliberately. Imagine the Creator of the heavens and the earth making a plan so intricate that every hardship, every delay, every silent moment in your life is part of a blueprint written before time began. You are part of a divine design that no one else can replicate. Being chosen isn't about comfort or ease. It's about being prepared to carry weight. Think of gold. It has to pass through fire before it shines. The same goes for you. Every challenge has been a forge. Every moment of waiting a refining flame. It's painful, yes, but it's producing something precious inside you. Remember the prophets, Musa, Yusuf, Isa, and Muhammad. Peace be upon them all. They were all chosen, yet their journeys were far from easy. Musa spent years in the desert. Yusuf was betrayed and imprisoned. Isa faced disbelief and rejection. Muhammad endured persecution and hardship. Their stories teach us that being chosen by Allah means being tested, but also being raised higher than those trials. Maybe your life doesn't look like you imagined. Maybe the dreams you had seem distant or impossible. But that's because Allah is reshaping your vision. He's asking you to see beyond what the eye can see, to trust the unseen plan He is working on your behalf. You might have asked yourself, why am I still waiting? Why hasn't my breakthrough come? The answer is simple but profound. Timing. In the meantime, you've been growing in ways you can't measure. You've been learning patience, building character, and strengthening faith. And that inner growth is what will make your success not just visible, but unshakable. So if you feel forgotten or overlooked, know this. You are being prepared for something greater than you can imagine. The silence around you is not emptiness, it's fullness waiting to burst forth. And here's a little secret. The world doesn't get to decide your value. Allah does. And He values those who endure, those who trust, and those who keep moving forward, even when the road is unclear. Being chosen means you have a mission that only you can fulfill. Your story matters. Not because it's perfect, but because it's yours. And because Allah has written it with purpose. So when you feel alone, remember the One who selected you is always with you. When you feel weak, remember the One who created you knows your strength. When you feel lost, remember the One who guides all paths has set yours. You are not just living, you are destined. And your destiny is far bigger than any struggle you face. Have you noticed the silence? Not just the absence of noise, but the quiet moments when it feels like everything around you has paused. When your prayers seem unanswered and your efforts feel invisible. That silence is not empty. It's the space where Allah prepares what no eye can see and no ear can hear. Think about Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him. Betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a well, sold into slavery and imprisoned unjustly. Years of silence, hardship, and waiting. Yet, through that silence, a divine plan was unfolding. Yusuf wasn't forgotten. He was being prepared for kingship and greatness beyond imagination. Or consider Prophet Musa, peace be upon him. Raised in Pharaoh's palace, then exiled to the desert for decades. The world saw exile. Allah saw preparation. Musa's silence was the quiet before the storm, the forge for the liberation of an entire nation. Your silence, your waiting, your unanswered questions, they are part of this sacred pattern. The delay is not denial. The absence of signs is not abandonment. It is a divine pause, a sacred hush before the symphony begins. During these moments, the soul is being purified, the heart is being disciplined, and the mind is being aligned with a purpose far beyond what you can currently grasp. Allah's wisdom is infinite, and His timing is perfect. What seems like waiting is actually readiness. And if you think you're alone in this silence, look again. The angels, the unseen servants of Allah, are watching your patience. Your steadfastness in this quiet season is a testimony written in the records of the heavens. Sometimes the world tries to rush you, to demand answers, to push you toward premature decisions. But the chosen ones know better. They understand that the rush of the world is often the distraction of the devil, and true power comes from patience and trust. This is your moment to rest in that trust, to embrace the silence and know that something incredible is brewing on the other side. The story you've been waiting for is not delayed, it's being crafted. So when the silence feels heavy and the night feels long, remind yourself, the darkness before dawn is the promise of light. The quiet before the call is the preparation for purpose. You are in the sacred space of becoming. The chapter of waiting is writing the prologue to your breakthrough. And when your time comes, it will come suddenly and powerfully, with the force of a divine decree that no one can stop. Until then, hold on to faith. Let patience be your shield and hope be your companion. Because chosen ones are not just survivors, they are destined to thrive. Now comes the moment you've been waiting for. The message heaven needs you to hear most clearly. Allah is calling you to wake up. Not just from sleep, but from all the doubts, fears, and hesitations that have held your heart captive. The time for hesitation is over. You see, the world wants you to stay comfortable, to blend in, to accept limits set by society, by failure, by rejection. But Allah is calling His chosen ones to rise, to step into their purpose boldly, even when the path is unclear. Remember, you were made as a Khalifa, a vicegerent on this earth, entrusted with responsibility. Your role isn't small, it's not for the faint-hearted. Allah has given you the tools, the spirit, and the strength to fulfill this divine appointment. You don't need another sign. You are the sign, the light in a world filled with darkness, the hope when despair looms large, the voice that carries truth when lies become loud. Yes, the task is heavy. Yes, the path is narrow, but the reward, it is beyond imagination, in this world and the next. The Quran reminds us in Surah Al-Baqarah, indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. The change begins with you. When you choose to rise, to walk, to speak your truth with conviction, the heavens respond. And here's a truth many miss. You don't have to be perfect to start. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to be willing. Willing to answer the call, willing to move when others stand still, willing to believe when others doubt. This is your moment to say, I am ready. Ready to be a beacon, ready to lead by example, ready to carry the legacy Allah has placed inside you. And the funny thing, when you take that first step, doors will open that you didn't even know existed. Hearts will soften that you thought were hardened forever. Paths will clear, and angels will align to support your journey. Because when heaven moves, it moves with you. So stop waiting for permission from the world. Stop asking for validation from people who don't see your worth. Your approval comes from one who created your soul, shaped your destiny, and knows the secrets of your heart. Wake up. Step forward. The time has come. The chosen ones are awakening, and you are one of them. Have you ever wondered why sometimes, when you finally decide to move forward, things seem to align effortlessly? Doors you thought were locked swing open. People you never expected appear at just the right time, and a strange peace settles over your heart. That's no coincidence. That's the unseen world responding to your sincerity. When you move in obedience to Allah's call, you don't move alone. Angels are assigned to walk beside you, to clear the path, and to protect you from forces that wish to deter you. The Quran reminds us in Surah Al-Anfal 8:12, I will cast terror into the hearts of those who disbelieve, So strike them upon the necks and strike from them every fingertip. This verse shows that the unseen helpers are real, powerful, and actively supporting the believers. But here's the catch. Angels accompany sincere movement. They don't show up just because you want change. They come when you act on your faith. When you decide to rise despite fear, to speak truth despite opposition, and to step forward despite uncertainty. Think of the moments when you felt an unexplained strength, a sudden clarity, or a whisper in your heart guiding you. That's the angelic support. It's heaven's way of saying, "We are with you, keep going." And it's not just protection, it's momentum. Every small step taken in faith sets off a chain reaction in the unseen realm. Barriers crumble, enemies retreat, and blessings multiply. The timeline shifts in your favor. But beware of hesitation. The moment you stall, doubt creeps in, and that momentum can slow or stop altogether. The world will try to make you comfortable with stillness, but chosen ones are called to move, to keep walking even when the path isn't fully visible. Remember, hell trembles when a believer moves with conviction. Your rise threatens the forces of darkness because it brings light, hope, and change. The bigger your purpose, the fiercer the opposition, but also the greater the heavenly support. So when you feel the nudge in your heart, don't ignore it. That nudge is the call of angels preparing to walk with you. Take that step, no matter how small. Pray, then act. Reflect, then proceed. The unseen is more real than the seen. The angels are closer than your jugular vein. And when you move for Allah, heaven moves with you. You are never alone on this journey. Every step you take in sincerity sends ripples across the cosmos. So stand firm, move forward, and know that the universe itself is your ally. It's tempting to want to fit in, to be understood, to be accepted. But here's a little secret that many chosen ones learn the hard way. If everyone understands you, maybe you're not walking your true path. Sometimes, being chosen means being different. Sometimes painfully so. It means that your light won't always be welcomed by those who prefer the darkness of conformity. You might feel misunderstood, rejected, or even isolated. Friends might drift away, family might question your choices, and strangers might dismiss your dreams as unrealistic. It stings. It shakes your faith. It tempts you to dim your light, to soften your edges, to be less you. But this uniqueness is not a flaw. It's your divine signature. Allah didn't create you to blend in with the crowd. You were designed to stand out, to be a beacon in a world that's often lost in shadows. Your differences are the very things that will draw others toward the light you carry. Remember the prophets and the righteous before you. Were they always popular? Far from it. They faced rejection, slander, and hostility. Yet, they persevered because their mission was bigger than their pain. Their worth was not in the applause of the crowd, but in the approval of their Lord. The truth is, chasing approval from people can be a trap. It's fleeting, conditional, and often comes at the expense of your soul. When you seek to please everyone, you risk losing yourself. But when you seek to please Allah, you gain everything, even if the world turns its back on you. Sometimes, the path of the chosen is lonely, but it's a sacred loneliness. It's the space where your soul grows stronger, your vision becomes clearer, and your resolve deepens. In this solitude, you find the courage to be authentic, to speak your truth, and to live according to the purpose Allah placed within you. And here's something else to remember. You are not alone. Across history and across the world, chosen ones walk this path. They carry the same burdens, face the same doubts, and wrestle with the same fears. But they also share the same strength, resilience, and unwavering faith. So when the world doesn't understand you, remind yourself that you were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were meant to be understood by Allah. And His understanding is enough. You are built for impact, not approval. Your true audience is in the heavens. Your real reward is with Allah. And that alone should be enough to keep you moving forward, no matter what comes. Embrace your uniqueness. Cherish your differences. They are the marks of your chosenness. Walk boldly in your purpose, knowing that the path you tread is rare and precious. And always remember, the greater the light, the darker the shadow it casts. You were born to shine, even if it blinds those who prefer the dark. And now, beloved chosen one, as your heart is more open than ever, and your soul is closer to surrender, there is one more reminder that heaven urgently needs you to remember. You were never meant to walk through this journey alone. Not spiritually, not emotionally, not even when everyone turns their back on you. Because Allah never did. Even when your heart broke in silence. Even when your prayers were just tears. Even when your strength left you at the doorstep of despair. His mercy encircled you like the orbit of the stars around the throne. And now He's ready to elevate you in a way the world won't understand. People might think your silence was weakness. But Allah knows it was your strongest form of sabr. They might assume you gave up. But Allah knew you were holding onto His rope with trembling fingers. The world doesn't see the sajdas you did when no one was looking. But heaven recorded every single one. Angels bore witness to the nights you gave your soul in whispers. And now, Allah says to you, you are not forgotten. You are my beloved servant. And this mark you are about to leave. No one can erase it, because I wrote it myself. So don't you dare minimize yourself. Don't you shrink to fit in places Allah took you out from. Don't try to explain your calling to people who never heard Allah whisper to you in your lowest moments. Your job isn't to convince the crowd. Your job is to obey the command. You are not called to be understood. You are called to be faithful. You may not have the same tools as others. You may not have the connections, the influence, or the strength you think you need. But remember what Allah told Musa as, "What is that in your right hand?" It was only a staff, but in Allah's plan, it became a miracle. What you think is ordinary, your voice, your tears, your struggle, Allah will turn it into an ayah, a sign for a generation. You were chosen not because you were perfect, but because your flaws became doors to Allah's light. You were chosen not because you had it all together, but because you kept walking even while you were broken. And now that your steps are steady and your heart is aligned, heaven has cleared the way for your destiny. You're not just passing through life anymore. You're stepping into a divine assignment. Every delay was a training. Every pain was a sharpening. Every rejection was redirection. And now, as Allah lifts the veil and grants you clarity, remember this: your mark isn't a name on a wall. It's a legacy in hearts, a shift in souls, a ripple in the unseen. Time will never erase what heaven has written. And now, as promised, I will close with a prayer, a sincere one from the heart. For you, Ya Allah, O turner of hearts, stabilize their heart upon your truth. Wrap them in your mercy. Strengthen their soul with tawakkul. Let them walk boldly into their calling without fear. Let the chains of doubt and delay fall away. Let risk rain upon them from doors they never imagined. And when they're tired, be their rest. When they're confused, be their light. And when the world forgets them, let the skies remember their name. Ameen Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Stay the course, O chosen one. Allah's eye is on you always.